And for more on the events unfolding in Egypt and international reaction, I'm joined now by Amy Hawthorne, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Rafik Hariri Centre for the Middle East. She formerly served in the US State Department, focusing on the Egyptian transition. Amy, you have called on the president to suspend aid to Egypt. Why?
This was a recommendation that I and a number of other Egypt experts made reluctantly, knowing that it's the least bad choice of a number of bad options. We made the recommendation really for two reasons. First, we argue that the current course that the U.S. is pursuing and has pursued isn't working. Continuing to provide military aid isn't having any influence on, it's not allowing our diplomacy to achieve our main goals in Egypt. And second, we don't believe that the United States should be tacitly endorsing in any way the actions of this Egyptian government at the present time.
Well, you speak to people inside the administration. Do you think they are likely to be suspending aid?
I think it's probably unlikely. It's considered a very dramatic step politically, and also because of the way that our military aid is structured, and this is a problem that the United States needs to address at some point. It's very difficult to suspend it or cut it off.
And one of the arguments against doing that, of course, is that what if Vladimir Putin were to turn up in Cairo with a load of cash and say, we're stepping in and we're becoming Egypt's ally now, not you?
Well, there's really nothing to stop Vladimir Putin from trying to do that now or at any point in the future. I believe that Egypt gets something from its relationship with the United States that a country like Russia cannot provide. And even if the aid is replaced, the larger context of the relationship can't be substituted.
Do you think that the interim Egyptian government is going to listen to the US now? After all last week, US diplomats were advising against this course of action, weren't they? Saying don't try and break up the protest camps.
It's very likely that they may not listen. The Egyptian government is going to make the decision that it believes is in the best interest of its country, but by suspending aid, the United States will be making our position and where we stand much more clear, and I think that is in our strategic interest with respect to Egypt.
But of course, Egypt is key to the US strategic interest in the Middle East, and this is one of the arguments, isn't it, for not suspending aid, is that you lose all leverage at a time when Middle East peace talks are going on for the first time in 3 years.
In my view, the key issues that form the basis of the U.S.-Egypt strategic relationship, support of Egypt-Israel peace, support of Arab-Israeli peace, a moderate foreign policy in the region, countering Iran's ambitions, and so forth, are all things that are in Egypt's own interest. Egypt isn't pursuing these policies because we're giving them aid. And so I think at some level, strategic cooperation would continue, even if we suspend aid.
The Middle East is so volatile right now. Do you get a sense the administration has a strategy, or are they just putting out fires?
I think the strategy is more to put out fires and to take it day by day and hope that somehow the next day the situation improves and the U.S. won't have to make difficult choices. But we've reached a turning point in Egypt and we have to make a strategic choice.
Amy Hawthorne, thank you for joining us.